And here we go. Hey guys, it's me. This is the next to last night of spring break, and I'm coming to you live from my living room. It's a very exciting time. Um, had this plan that most of our test prep this year, we're going to test out this flipped classroom model. So most of the lessons that you do on test review, you'll be taking care of those at home. You'll be doing those for homework by watching a video, much like this one. This will be your first one. Um, and then the next day, whenever you come into class, you will have already had the instruction time. So we'll spend a little bit of time practicing and reviewing and talking about what you learned. And then after that, we'll be able to continue learning and doing more interesting things than test prep. So our first session is called Testing 101. What is the big deal with standardized testing? And one thing I want you guys to kind of keep in mind as we're going through this series of lessons and we're getting ready to go into the testing craziness is that fear of a name increases the fear of the thing itself. So if you have that trouble, or every time you hear somebody talk about the EOGs, or they're coming up, you kind of get that tight, panicky feeling. Know that you're not alone, but know that being afraid of them is not doing yourself any favors. So we're going to try to get you prepared for them, ready to go, and it's not going to be a big deal. So I want to kind of create a scenario for you to begin with. It's spring break. We come back, and all of a sudden the atmosphere in school changes from kind of relaxed, laid back, easygoing to one of just palpable tension. The students are nervous, they're afraid about what's the test going to ask, how long is it going to take, what new heights of boredom will we reach with this year's selections. Perhaps a 9-page treatise on the history of cellos, or maybe a recipe for Boston cream pie in 30 easy steps with a brief history of the city of Boston on the side. All those exciting things that 8th graders love to read about. The teachers are stressed out. We're ready to snap at just the slightest little thing. You forget your pencil, we jump all over you. Pretty much what happens is we change from being a school to being some sort of medieval torture chamber that's just focused on test prep. I don't think it has to be that way. So why do we do that? Well, in the end, it all comes back to us being afraid. We're all afraid. We're afraid of what we don't know. We're afraid of being punished for things that we don't understand. We're afraid of losing face in front of our peers, in front of our teachers, in front of our friends. And just in general, we worry about testing because it's a scary word. It's high stakes for you guys. It's high stakes for us. We're all stressed and worried about it. But why? I mean, by 8th grade, you know the deal with testing. By 8th grade, you know that you have to get a good night's sleep. You know that it's absolutely necessary for you to eat breakfast, and if not, we're going to feed it to you anyway. It's probably a good idea to wear comfortable clothes. You have to use a number 2 pencil. You know that you have to read everything carefully, even the instructions. You know that your answers have to be recorded on the test sheet, on the answer sheet, even if they're written in the test booklet. No good if it's not on that Scantron. And you know that you have to fill in the circle completely and make your mark heavy and dark. I have that whole piece memorized too. Those are all pretty standard pieces of testing prep information that you've been getting for goodness knows how long. But you've probably also heard this one. Skip the questions that you don't know. You can always come back and answer them later. But then probably the next year you heard, never skip a question. If you get offline and mess up the bubbles, we'll kill you. Somebody's probably told you work slowly. Make sure you read everything carefully. Work your way through. I'm sure someone else has told you, no, you need to work at a steady pace because you're on a time limit. Maybe you've heard, take a break once in a while, stretch, give your brain a rest, look around. And then someone else says, no, you cannot stop until the break is announced. Maybe one of your teachers said, stretch. If you get tired, work your neck around a little bit, stretch your arms out, wiggle your legs. And then another teacher says, stretching is distracting. You're ruining this opportunity for other students. Sit still. Lots of contradicting information. And then, of course, there are the strategies for reading test success. You want to read the questions first so you know exactly what they're looking for. No. You got to read the passage first so you know what it's about. Well, you should probably read the title first because that's going to give you the main idea. You should definitely skim the headings. See what each section is about. No, study the pictures first. Look at the text features first. And on and on and on and so on and so forth. It's enough to make a person absolutely crazy. So what is the answer? Is it that simple? Of course not. It's none of the above. In the end, the only thing they really care about is your capability to look at the text on a page and understand what it means, to comprehend the content. And I'm sorry to say, there is no magic strategy that's going to make that work for everybody. So, why is this so hard for us? Why do we have such a difficult time understanding the test? Why do we get so freaked out and scared of it? I think the first step is understand there's a lot of mystery around the test. There's a lot of confusion about what it's going to say from year to year. We as teachers don't really understand how they score it. Someone else writes it. It doesn't look like anything else that we do throughout the year most of the time. It goes off to some mysterious room full of random faceless people who grade it and send it back to us, and they never meet you. They don't know you as a student. You're not allowed to give any input on why you put the answers that you did. So that creates kind of an air of mystery about the whole thing. A lot of times, the language that we use in school is not the same language that you see on the test. And so the test hopefully comes on as a foreign language for the kids who are reading it. We're going to try our best to make sure that doesn't happen this year, though. And now, you guys know, I'm probably the worst about this, but there's always more than one answer to a question. As long as you can justify what you think, as long as you can prove to me where you came up with that, I'm going to say okay. But now I'm going to tell you to throw all that away and to find the one correct answer. How are you supposed to do that? Don't worry, we'll get there. The testing atmosphere, of course, is insanely unnatural. It's awkward, it's uncomfortable. Somebody's too hot, somebody else is too cold. The kid next to me has a stuffy nose. This guy over here has a squeaky pencil. This kid fell asleep and he's snoring now. The teacher's walking around the room looking over his shoulder. The proctor keeps giving me weird looks. It's an uncomfortable atmosphere. We know that. It's uncomfortable for us too. And I think in the end the biggest problem is that there's this disconnect of how does this go with what we've been doing all year long? How do the things that we do in language arts class translate to this test? How can I make it work for me? And so my solution is the first thing you have to do is accept that some of the testing factors are immutable. And immutable means not able to be changed. The room is going to be uncomfortable. You're not going to know what's coming. You can be well prepared for the test, but there still may be some surprises. And some of that, you just have to accept it and just deal with it. The second thing is that you have to accept that the test is not going to be fun and it's not going to be pleasant, but that's okay. Everything does not have to be fun. Everything does not have to be pleasant, and you will get through it, and you will do well. You have to know, out of all of these reading strategies that you've been given through through all 8 years of school. Which one of those things worked for you? Does it work for you to read the questions first? You should do it that way. Does it work better for you to read the whole text and then look at the questions? You should do it that way. Maybe you skim. Maybe you look at the pictures first. All that's fine. You just have to know for sure that it actually does work. And the biggest thing, and that's what this series of lessons is hopefully going to do for you, is going to be to connect the dots between the type of thinking and the discussing and the work that we've done in class this year and how it goes with the test, how the two kind of mesh together, because I promise you that the work that we have done in class will get you to the right answer. It's all about text support, it's all about thinking like a writer, it's all about thinking like a test designer, and it's all about being smarter than the test is, because you are smarter than the test. So don't be afraid of it. Be determined. We're going to beat it. You're going to succeed. And this is your first step. So I hope this wasn't too terribly painful. And if you will go on to the next video as well, it's going to go a little bit over construction of items. These will be the 2 longest videos that you have probably. Alright, can't wait to see you guys. Bye.